Wow, what an unexpected night of baseball news. For those that haven't heard, the Baltimore Orioles have just acquired Corbin Burns, ace from the Milwaukee Brewers, one of the best pitchers in baseball. Top, I would say, a top 3 or 4 pitcher in all of baseball. And they got him what I consider to be on the cheap. Okay, here's what they're giving up for him. This is Jeff Passan reporting, MLBTradeRumors.com. Shortstop Joey Ortiz, left-hander DJ Hall, part of the trade. They're also getting a competitive balance round a draft choice as well. So I'm as Mark Feinsand reporting too. Um, None of them. They didn't give up a top 5 prospect. Now is obviously, it was clear that they wanted to get a pitcher, and they were talking about Dylan Cease, but the asking price was way too high. So greetings, Dave. Greetings, Hayden. What's happening? Sivia, yeah, we're just talking about it now. The Baltimore Orioles got him on the cheap. Like, this is a surprise. NFE's in the house. There he is. Strike zone's in the house, my man. Man, I don't know how Milwaukee accepted this deal from Baltimore. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It's pandemic. Yeah, it's very confusing. And again, I wanted to wait a little bit because I know, I wanted a little bit more information to come out because some YouTubers are running around with their hair on fire. There's people blaming Cashman and Hal for this, where this, Baltimore has new ownership. They obviously wanted to get off to an aggressive start, which even that's not even completely done yet. But obviously, they wanted to make a move here, and they had a chance to get a top pitcher in baseball to solidify their position in the AL East, and they did exactly that. And they're gonna have the resources to give him a big extension too, once that is available to happen too. So I wouldn't be surprised if they extended him soon. So, congratulations to Burns for getting out of Milwaukee. I know you were unhappy there. Congratulations to the Orioles for doing this as well. But yeah, exactly. Consigliere. This happens when a new owner comes in, wants to make an impression. That's exactly what they did. Great point. Great point. And they made an impression right off the bat. And this is a more competent, the Angelos were not very good running the Orioles. So these guys are, excuse me, this trade's giving me allergies. They're selling them to billionaire money guys, and they're not going to buy this franchise, which is now valued at 1.7 billion, without plans to being aggressive and towards getting it to the future and making it a much better, more formidable franchise. They have the #1 farm in baseball, and they gave up hardly anybody in that farm. The White Sox were asking for freaking Jackson Holiday. They didn't even give up a top 5 pitcher, a top 5 prospect, and they got a better pitcher in that trade. Just goes to show that the White Sox are severely overplaying their hand with this ask. But the question I have for you, does this small asking price affect other teams' ability to ask for the moon for their pitchers, whether it be Shane Bieber, whether it be Dylan Cease? Will they have to lower their asking price because Corbin Burns, a better pitcher than all of them, got that much return from the Brewers? That's the question. So, you know what I mean? But yet he's not playing around, Dave. Exactly. It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't think anybody expected this. They got him for little to nothing. So I don't know if they knew that the Brewers people were a little vulnerable and they capitalized. They just capitalized on an opportunity. Maybe they have a rapport with them. I have no idea. I'm sure we'll get more information, but well, exactly, Mr. Bryan. This is a great point. The Orioles are not our punching bag in our from where you want to win the division. You got to bleed for it. Yeah, you're damn right. Be ready to bleed for it. Yeah. And Brandon Moore, it's a good question. I don't know. Maybe they'll try to go for Cease now. Maybe they'll say, look, Milwaukee just got this for Burns, so there's no way you're getting Chase Hampton or Spencer Jones for Dylan Cease. Like, even though he's got a second year of control, he's still not as good as Corbin Burns. So, I don't know what's going on, Peter, with the Yankees. Maybe they got something planned. I don't know what it is. I don't think anybody expected this one. This one probably caught off everybody off guard. So I don't think they're going to offer 192 for 6 years for Snell. 30 32 million a year. I can't see that, Bruce. It doesn't make any sense to. Why would they up their offer by 42 million when nobody else has given them an offer? You know what I mean? No. That I wouldn't say they don't have a winning mentality. I wouldn't say that. And this is not a Brian Cashman thing. So, well, they got turned down by Yamamoto. He didn't want to be here. So move on from that. And I personally think Snell they overplayed their hand with Scott Boras because they flat out rejected their offer, which is 150 million bucks, which was still fair market value, and they didn't have any other offers in hand. So that doesn't help their negotiating uh, platform there, their negotiating position at all. So I think more of us have been waiting for Burns. Yeah, a lot of us have been waiting. Waiting for Corbin Burns. Like, we would have loved to have him here with the Yankees. And I do expect now the Yankees will make probably some pitching move. So for a starting pitcher. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is, it's like, it's almost like the Orioles, they duped about the Milwaukee Brewers. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say cash fraud. This has nothing to do with Cashman rating. And well, the Milwaukee Brewers just got their asses handed to them by the Orioles. You know? Well, exactly, and the asking we know the asking price for the Yankees would have been way higher than what they just got from the Milwaukee Brewers. We know this already, so that's a great point too. NFE, yeah, yeah. I don't know how the average IWGC. I don't know. Maybe we'll have some details that we don't know now that we'll know later. How could they have given him away for little to nothing? Which is crazy. That doesn't mean other teams could have done the same thing. That doesn't mean Cashman could have done the same thing. Baltimore just got lucky tonight. They got lucky. Whatever they did it well. But them doing something well doesn't mean the Yankees are asleep at the wheel either. So, and again, like there are there's 28 other teams in baseball. We could say that they're all sleeping at the wheel too. So, but now we have to face him because he's in the American League East. So this is why I expect the Yankees to probably make a counter move now that Corbin Burns is in the AL East. So that kind of changes the trajectory of things a little bit, in my opinion. But we'll see what they do. We'll see what they do. I don't know, Davey. It's a good question. Why they couldn't get a higher prospect? They got fleeced by the Orioles. They absolutely got fleeced. So we got Allen for outfield depth. So that's fine. I don't think anybody's going to sign Trevor Barracibia, and I don't think that's not a good enough counter for Corbin Burns. To be honest with you. Yep, the Orioles still have the top farm in baseball, number one farm. So we'll see what they do. This is an interesting. Why do I hit them likes, everybody? Hit that like button, gang. I don't know why my background is not working. I have this, and now it's working. Of course. Okay, there we go. My apologies, gang. Sometimes it takes me a while. I don't understand. I put this before the video starts, and it doesn't always come up right away. But hit that like button, gang, if you don't mind. It's greatly appreciated. Um, Baltimore is definitely dangerous. Yeah, I'm with you there, Consigliere. I don't think they're done either. I don't think the Yankees are done. I think this is going to motivate them even more to make a counter move now that, like I said, he's in the damn AL East now. So, well, exactly, strikes. And they try to fleece the Yankees. And that goes without saying. Like, I did see it, right? NFP. Yeah, I mean, that's teams want more. They generally historically ask more from the Yankees than they do other teams. So the Yankees didn't get played, Raiden, but Milwaukee got played. Nobody could have been notified. Maybe no other team was notified. We just can't assume that the Yankees got played. So we couldn't assume that, but I'm not going to assume it because we can't prove it. We don't know if they did their due diligence. This is why the Orioles making a good move and fleecing. I don't know how the Orioles fleecing the Milwaukee Brewers is the Yankees' fault. Can anybody explain that logic? I don't understand that one. There's so many people just automatically blaming the Yankees for the Orioles fleecing the Milwaukee Brewers. I don't get that. Did they even know this opportunity was available to them? We have no idea, Chris. We have no idea. Yeah, and I'm not going to sit here and assume that they did. So, but does it suck? Yes, it sucks. No doubt about it. Deb, what's happening? Yeah, it sucks, CWE. But again, this is not Matt. How is this a Cashman fail? We don't know that they knew this was an opportunity. This is a Milwaukee fail. They gave up an ace pitcher for little to nothing. This is a Brewers fail. How is it a Cashman fail? Why are we looking for reasons to blame Cashman for everything? What's the point? So we don't know that Jones won't be a star player. Dominguez could be a bust for all we know. CWA. I wouldn't go down that road assuming that either. I wouldn't trade Jones for Cease. Hell no. Hell no. The GM for the White Sox is nuts, and it sounds like the GM for the Brewers is not that good. Just got fleeced. Absolute fleece job by the Orioles. Hmm. Yeah, I can't. I don't think anybody's going to sign Trevor Bauer. In all honesty, because he still has active. They still have active investigations and court cases, and multiple accusers and all that stuff. And I get he was criminally cleared so far, which is fantastic. But until all that stuff is resolved, I don't think anybody's going to sign him. I really don't. So no way the Brewers didn't ask for. We can't prove that. Can't prove that. Like you say, no way that they didn't ask around. There's no way that we can prove it's Brian Cashman's fault either. That he failed here. Can't prove either one. I'm not saying Cease won't make the rotation better, but I'm not giving up Spencer Jones for him. Hell no. The Birds were going to give him a run for their money regardless, Joseph. So I think they'll. I'm not. Why would you change your offer on Blake Snell? They're the only team that gave him an offer. Why would I negotiate against ourselves, right? Exactly, Chris. It's no point to do that. And they flat out rejected their offer. So they're not going to accept anything less than 25 million a year, which automatically becomes 50 million a year, right? I mean, immediately as soon as he comes here, instantly. So they might not do it. Yeah, maybe not. CWA. That doesn't mean they haven't gotten. They've gotten significantly better. So I wouldn't have traded either for half of for a season of Burns. I wouldn't have done it, but you know, the Orioles were not going to trade Jackson Holiday for anybody, and why would they? They got Burns for like little to nothing. So yeah, Cease is up and down too. He have a great year, and then he have a not so great year. So he pitches with regularity, 200 innings, 30 games. That's great and all, but that doesn't make him an ace. Again, if Snell falls into the laps, then he falls into the laps. We'll see. No doubt about it, paranormal. Anytime. Anytime. We don't know yet, you Elvis. Yankees have done a lot more than the Orioles. Them and the Dodgers have been the busiest teams this offseason. They could have made the call, and maybe the Brewers didn't pick up. Like, this is too much here, Chris. Uncertainty here. There's too much stuff we can't prove. So it doesn't make any sense to even go down this road and start blaming Cashman. I don't understand that so many people just find reasons to blame Cashman for everything. We can't prove anything. Why are we blaming the guy? Nothing. Yeah, Davey, exactly. Why would they trade Burns for this package? Is there a problem? Did Burns say, I want out now? Like, we have no idea what the hell happened. Maybe Burns forced to trade, Davey. You could be right. You could be right. And then the Orioles might have been there right time, right place, right time. We don't know. Mm, We have no idea. Yeah, exactly, strikes NFE. Exactly, man. What are we blaming Cashman for? It doesn't have anything to do with it. Yeah, maybe Tim King. It could be. It's possible, for all we know. They were in contact with the Brewers, Chris. We know that already. No, they would not have known that this is going on. Team is not going to tell them this is what the Orioles are offering. Like, they're not going to share their offers. They're not going to. That's not what teams do. Again, just looking for reasons to blame Yankees and Cashman. It doesn't. What does that do? It doesn't bring any solutions. Doesn't bring any value. What's the point? He's with the Orioles now. It is what it is. So, yeah, Sonny, I think the Orioles will probably make more deals with his new ownership. They finally have an ownership that's competent. The Angelos guys have run the team incompetently for a long time. What's up, Stephen B? Overpaying Snell. That's not the only option. They can trade for a controllable pitcher too. So, Carlos from Farmer, who? Brewers ownership had chip against Yankees. What chip is that, Diver JC? What chip? Who? We have no idea. If he's available secondhand, they probably will, but I think the Orioles will probably going to try to extend him before he gets to that point. I don't think Cease will get traded to the Yankees either. Yeah, I'm not giving up Spencer Jones for Dylan Cease. Sorry, but no. Bieber might not even get traded now either. And I put out the video this morning. The what do you call it? Diamond Sports Group. They're picking up the Guardians this year, the Twins and the Texas Rangers. They're streaming services, so there's money going to be coming into their coffers this year. Now, where they were dropped last year. I mean, last week. Now they're picked up. So you know, it's a good point too, you Elvis. Hard to have the number one farm when you've been losing for 20 years straight. It's hard not to have exactly. When you lose that often, you get high draft picks every single year. That's what happens with the Tampa Bay Rays when they were bad in the beginning. They got David Price, they got all these top draft picks, and they went to the World Series. Same thing happened with the Orioles. They were terrible for a long time, and they got a lot of high draft picks. They did a good job at developing them, and look where they're at now. You know, the team that won 100 games just got the second best pick. Yeah, they did. Yes, they did. Cardinals to sign Keenan Middleton. Is that happening right now? Oh yeah, look at that. Keenan Middleton. He's in agreement with the St. Louis Cardinals. Thank you, Consiglietti. Reports Robert Murray of FanSided. The deal is pending a physical. No details yet. So reliever off the board. Going to the Cardinals. Yep. Wandy Peralta went to the Padres yesterday. Keenan Middleton. Well, we'll see what he's going to cost too. The Cardinals. We'll see how much he costs. Well, that's what we were told, Sonny, that he wasn't available until possible the deadline because the Brewers were going to try to contend, and then this happens. Exactly, Sonny. Exactly. This is what. They haven't signed Snell yet, Bruce. But I know people are hoping for that news. You know, I we can't prove that the Yankees were negligent not following up. We can't prove that. Maybe the other teams didn't have opportunities to follow up. Maybe they just took the deal and that was it, and they didn't want to hear from other teams. It's pointless going down that road calling them negligent. It's absolutely pointless. We can't prove it. We can't prove it. Monty, I could see Monty going back to Texas now. Now that Texas has been picked up for their TV broadcasting deal. That's what I could see. Mhm. Well, they haven't lost everybody, Jordan. I mean, remember the Yankees already added 3 relievers to the bullpen, which was already a top 3 bullpen, and they have 2 coming back. So they've already added guys to a great bullpen. Prove that, Chris. No, I want to play the facts out. The facts are not on your side right now. They weren't paying attention or they didn't do the proper diligence. You cannot prove that. Otherwise, you wouldn't be saying that. You'd be up here proving it. We don't know all the facts. We don't know them. People are going to have these assumptions all the time. And it is what it is. That's fine, but we can't prove any of this stuff. So what's the point? Yeah, Consi, I don't think the Orioles are done yet either. Your Orioles or the Yankees? I don't think either team is done. Mhm. I don't know. Mitch, I don't know. I don't even know if his Keller's available. Yeah, exactly, Reagan. Cashman's at fault for everything. It's the rules. You can't. I know. I know. But that's what happens when a team that's run poorly gets new ownership that wants to be aggressive. That's what happens. They'll make some moves. Like that's what happened with the Mets last year. But remember, you know, Steve Coleman bought everybody last year, and look what it got him. Nothing. This doesn't put the Orioles in the World Series. Doesn't guarantee them that. So they have to play 162 games. You know, it's Cashman's job to know what's going on. So you're saying it's the Brewers' job to tell him because that's the only way he's going to know what's going on. If the Brewers want to make a deal with the Orioles, then they'll make a deal. They won't tell anybody. They're not required to tell anybody, Donald. These are important pieces that people seem to be leaving out. I don't understand. Borns, yeah, he could have forced the trade. I don't know. No idea. Paranormal, I don't know, man. I know they were at his workouts in the guard. So yeah, Middleton's going to the Cardinals, Danny. Going to St. Louis. The details are not out yet, but he's going to St. Louis. Or yeah, the Orioles needed a top starter. They got what they needed. Like, makes the AL East, yeah, it's 100%, Sonny. It makes the AL East more competitive. Settled according to who, Chris? You need to prove it. You can't just say settled. It might be settled in your mind, but I'm gonna stick with the facts. Yeah, Ray Cashman always seems to be the scapegoat for people. Yep. Bruce, I think DJ's gonna bat lead off. I think. Yeah. No, Donald, I don't disagree with that either. I don't disagree. Every team is yeah, exactly. Dominguez or Jones or FU, exactly. They're asking for Dominguez or Jones from the Yankees, and then they got this weak ass package from the Orioles. So Goes to show you the double standard that teams play on the Yankees. I don't care what they said last year, Chris. Don't care. Yeah, Trevor's on. Yeah, he's on YouTube. He's got a YouTube channel. Yeah. There is nobody out there worth trading Jones or Dominguez for CWA. Nobody. We'll see, Justin. I don't know. People seem to forget the Yankees got Juan Soto and made a whole bunch of other moves. They seem to forget that because it happened so long ago. Yeah, Cisco, it's going to be a lot more fun baseball to watch. You got that right. To get to beat the best, you got to be the best. You got to beat them. So, just like I'm not handing the Dodgers the World Series title yet either. Yeah, Keenan Middleton, Hayden going to the St. Louis Cardinals. Yep. If you had a bad day, just blame Cashman. Exactly. Why would Milwaukee not call who? The Andes? Who's that? No one they're interested to see if they go. Ask them. Instead of blaming Cashman, ask them, Chris. That's a better question. Blaming Cashman does absolutely nothing. Ask the Brewers. Maybe they'll tell you why they did it. So yeah, Diver JC was, they were going to go after him at the deadline. I didn't, I wasn't couldn't prove that they were going to require him, but like that's irrelevant now. Yeah, Les, I would avoid Blake Snell in my opinion. I would avoid Blake Snell. Yeah, the prospect hugger thing. I mean, he gave up a lot for Juan Soto, and it's not going to make a stupid overpay just because fans want him to make a stupid overpay. Chris, what in the world are you talking about? I doubt the O's get Snell. But that would be crazy if they did. And I wouldn't blame Cashman for that. Snell already turned the Yankees down. Yeah, exactly. They're on Dennis. Well, Chris, you seem to. Did you hear the Yankees say that? Did we hear beat writers say the Yankees said that? Beat writers said that. We didn't hear the Yankees. Did you hear Boone say that or Cashman say that or Hal? No. We heard beat writers say that was what the Yankees were going to do. So remember that. So again, what is putting words in your mouth going to do? We don't know, Chris. We can't speak for the Brewers either. But it's done. So I'm over it. Look, nothing we can do about it now. Can't change the past. They shouldn't be making statements about trading, but they're not making statements. Beat writers are, Chris. Beat writers. That's what beat writers do to get people like you fired up. We didn't hear the Yankees say that. They don't leak anything. Ever. See? Beat writers got you, dude. They got you, Chris. They got you pissed off at the wrong people. Yes, but man, I think Verdugo's going to be pretty solid this year. Flying out to New York in September to see the Red Sox and Yankees. Nice, Jules. Enjoy. You'll love Yankee Stadium. You will love Yankee Stadium. Chicken palms in the house. Still one of my all-time favorite meals ever, chicken parm. But Judge the bullpen. You can't. Who claimed that? I want you to tell us, Chris, who from the Yankees claimed it, or did a beat writer said they did that? Tell me who and post the article where somebody claimed they were going to do that. Instead of putting words in their mouth, let's prove it. Yeah, because he's cash money. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, Kane and Middleton to the Cardinals. Yep. You're blaming the Yankees and somebody there, Chris. I want you to. I'm asking you again. Please provide the article that proves somebody from the Yankees said that. This is not difficult. You've said it multiple times as the Yankees. It should be very easy for you to prove. Please go find it and post it. I'll be happy to share it with everybody. Happy to. Yeah, Wandy. I mean, again, Wandy would have cost double here. Middleton's would have cost double here, no matter what he costs. We still don't know what his price tag is yet. Let me see if the details are updated on him going to the Cardinals. Um, Keenan Middleton. All right, here we go. Deal is pending a physical agreement with free agent. It just says they're in agreement. The details don't seem here yet. No, we don't have the details of the contract yet. They're just in agreement. Last, this is the first time they're over 300. So, you know, we'll see. Nobody can win the pennant in the offseason. I'm going to ask you again, Chris. Prove they didn't follow up. Prove they weren't on. Prove they knew. You're putting words in their mouth. You're making these accusations, and you'll never win in court. You brought court stuff up. You'll never win. You got to prove it. You brought criminal court and all these other things up, right? So you got to please prove it. Who was asleep at the wheel, Jose? Who? Every GM in baseball except for the Orioles. I mean, the Brewers GM was asleep at the wheel. He got fleeced. I'm not trying to change you, Raiden. Asking people to prove an accusation is not trying to change you. I don't do propaganda on this channel. There are other channels for that. I don't do that here. Okay? That's a pretty serious accusation to be levying on these guys multiple times. All I ask is that you prove it. That's it. Nobody's trying to change you. We already know that a lot of the fan base hates Cashman. I hear it all the time, 100 times a day. Cashman's to blame for this, Cashman's to blame for that. Just read the comments in the videos. Get so much Cashman hate. I don't block people for doing that. People are welcome to say what they want, right? So this is something's off between the Brewers and Burns and Orioles. So Orioles fleeced them. They took advantage of them. They didn't take advantage of the Yankees. They took advantage of the Brewers. So it's not the Yankees' fault. That's the Brewers' fault. Michael, yeah, I'm yeah, exactly 97. Yeah. Yep. Gage was, I think, a solid pickup, another solid lefty reliever. Why can't the management see it? Well, Garen, that wasn't cheap. One D for 4 million turns into 8 million here. And again, the Yankees are the only team that are over the Cohen threshold. I keep saying this, people keep ignoring this. They're the only team that has to pay double for this. So the Yankees are cheap argument is complete trash. Okay. They're the only team that has to pay double right now for players because they're over that threshold. The only team. It was easy for the Padres to sign Wandy. They're way under. It was easy for the Cardinals to sign Middleton. Way under. They can sign him for the cheap. They're not paying double. That does matter. It does. Nobody's making excuses, Don. I'm asking people to prove it. Quit making accusations you can't prove. I'm not making excuses for Cashman. I'm asking people to prove it. This is easy to prove if it's true. See, Don, I get this all the time too. I ask people to prove it, this and that, and I get called a fanboy. People think I'm making excuses. Why can't people prove it? I think they'll get somebody CW. I think they'll get another. Yep. Middleton to Cardinals. Yep. Why would the Brew is not cool around to a few? What? I don't understand what you're asking, Chris. Please clarify. I'm not exactly. I'm sorry. I don't understand what you're asking me. I want to make sure I'm understanding what you're asking. Yeah, you're blaming a lot of folks, and you're still not proving any of it. I'm asking repeatedly to prove it. I haven't gotten. You haven't provided anything. Yeah, chicken partner. A lot of the problems are above Cashman's pay grade. Yeah, Levine. Yeah, yeah. But we can't prove that they were not in on this, and if they were, that they would let something like that, take place. The bottom line is the Orioles fleeced the Milwaukee Brewers. How this is anybody else's fault but the Brewers is beyond me. These built-in reasons to blame Cashman for whatever don't really pass the smell test. Teams always share. Who told you that, Robert? Teams always share their offers and usually say you can. No, they don't. That's how the agents never share offers. Never. They'll say we have a better offer now to get a team, even when they don't sometimes, to get a team to up their offer. They never give details on their offers. Ever, ever, ever. Yeah, people are panicking. I get it. Steven, the Orioles acquired Corbin Burns for, I'll give you the details of the package. Let me pull it up here. For DL Hall's a left-hander, Joey Ortiz, an infielder, rookie infielder, and a competitive balanced prospect. No, and a competitive balance pick, and that's it. They didn't give up a top 5 prospect for Corbin Burns. So that's what was the deal, Steven. The Orioles fleeced the Brewers. I mean, yeah, Milwaukee Brewers. Yeah, exactly. He's not an everyday player, so thank the heavens. Cashman made us endure last year, really? Yeah. Judge getting hurt and crashing into the Dodgers wall, missing 60 games is Cashman's fault? I don't know. Rodon being missing 3 months and Cortez missing 3 months is Cashman's fault? I don't know about that. I mean, he should test the free agent market, but I don't know. Jose, this is, I mean, again, these accusations. I mean, I'm not telling you he was calling the Brewers and they didn't say, you can't prove that. Can't prove that. Making these accusations that we can't prove. What's the point? I don't know. Dodgers going to trade for Burns at the deadline. Can you imagine that, Tim King? Or else we'll flat on their faces thinking. Did you imagine that? Mhm. According to Robert Murray, what? What are you saying? What's Robert Murray saying? I'm not panicking either. What's the point? What's the point in panicking? Yes, no one's too much. And again, 25 becomes 50 here, 30 becomes 60. Is he going to provide that much value? I doubt it. Mm. Texas has money now, yeah. Yeah, they got their streaming deal resolved today. Actually, I put out a video on it this morning. Texas, Cleveland Guardians, and the Minnesota Twins. They're going to get picked up by Diamond Sports Group this year um, to get their games broadcasted, and that brought in a good amount of money to them last year. It brought in Texas over 100 million. Brought the Twins and the Guardians about 50 million each or something like that. So yeah, I would agree. I agree. I think with the addition of Burns to the Rose, Yankees will be fine. Well, if you're gonna play Peraza, you got to give him a chance like you did Volpe. Yes, exactly, Sonny. You have to do that at the very least. Doesn't mean that someone on the Yankees did screw up either. Can't can't prove it. So according as far as we know right now, nobody in the Yankees screwed up unless you prove it otherwise. No, Bobby, the Yankees did not drop the ball on Burns. But Milwaukee Brewers did. They got fleeced by the Orioles. Absolutely fleeced. Everybody missed A. Jones. Everybody, everybody did. My projected Yankees record right now, I would say the Yankees are probably going to win like 94, 95 games, I think. Something like that. There's a ton of relievers on the market. Tons. Maybe Burns didn't want to share. I mean, it could be. Could be. It's not a fact Cashman was asleep at the wheel. We don't know that he knew that this was going to happen. We can't prove that, Jose. We're making accusations that we can't prove. Cashman's been the busiest GM this whole offseason. More busy than every other team's GM. Every team's GM. Yeah. Yeah. People trying to fleece the Yankees. Yeah. E. Frost will be back. Luis Hill will be back. Maybe Devin Williams. Maybe Diver JC. Maybe. Could be. Not really, Angels. Not really. He's the one making the trade. His fault not making. No, not really. This is the GM of the Brewers' fault. He got fleeced. Fleeced. I don't understand why folks don't are trying to blame Cashman for the Brewers GM getting fleeced. I don't understand how that makes sense. Chicken parm, I'm sure they're considering it. Ooh, excuse me, or Hyunjin Ryu, lefty from the Brewers. I mean, from the Blue Jays. So they got to round out the back end of the rotation. We'll see. If it makes absolutely no sense, but if that a phone call wouldn't have been made. Who are you referring to, Chris? We don't understand what you're talking about. I still need you to prove that the Yankees themselves made it clear that Burns was their guy. They were gonna pivot to. Beat writers said that, not the Yankees. So I need you to prove that. Makes absolutely no sense why beat writers say stuff and don't prove it. So certain beat writers makes absolutely sense why certain content creators make claims that they don't like to prove. Why? Yeah, Ryan Brazier and Syndergaard Beaver. Yeah, I mean, they could do that probably. You keep going to this Cashman pivot, Chris. I'm asking you to just to prove it that they said that those were intentions that they wanted Burns. I keep asking the same question. You keep going back to Cashman. Keep asking the same question. Need proof that they actually did it, and not a beat writer did it. Yeah. Do I out the Orioles over? Do I put the Orioles over us? Not yet. Not necessarily yet. You Elvis. I mean, the Orioles did not get worse, but the Yankees got a lot better. But the Orioles got better tonight. But they had a pretty magical year last year. They had a lot of guys firing on all cylinders, and so we'll see. You know, we will see. The Blue Jays just added Justin Turner. The Red Sox really haven't done much, so it's going to be an interesting. But again, it's 162 games. It's not like football where it's 17 games. So it's 162. The Brewers said they're willing to listen to their closer. Now, where did you see that, Stephen B? I know. It's the cool thing to do, maybe. said people who aren't cool, right, NFE? Yeah. I don't know who's coming up with this blame Cashman for everything movement. It's crazy. This is this has no impact on the Yankees' look, Coconuts. This is not a good look for the Brewers. They got fleeced. It's not Cashman's fault for not trading for Burns. No, it's not his fault for not trading for Burns. No. There's no we can't prove that he had the option to get him tonight. We can't prove that. Why are we letting the Brewers off the hook for getting fleeced by the Orioles? And we're blaming Cashman for the, the Brewers getting robbed by the Orioles. It's like a damn hijacking by the Orioles. How is this Cashman's fault? They don't go after Snell. What's the point? Snell. They already made him an offer and he turned it down. Why would they up an offer to Snell? Especially when they have to pay double for it. I would never do that, Chris Schmidt. No. And again, the White Sox are asking for Spencer Jones or Jason Dominguez or Chase Hampton for or both for Dylan Cease. That's a hard pass. I would try to trade with the Marlins or the Mariners for a controllable pitcher. We don't know 97 what the budget left he has to spend. We have no idea. But all we know is that they have the highest payroll in all of baseball. Hmm. It could be Davey. The Yankees could have offered them a better offer, and Milwaukee preferred, for some reason, the Orioles offer. I don't know why they would, but and again, but I don't know. I don't think anybody's going to go after Bauer Williams. To be honest with you, I'd be surprised if anybody signs him because of all the baggage that's going to come along with him. I'd be really surprised, William. But again, I don't know. People deserve a second chance, forgiveness, but I don't think the Bronx is the right environment to put him because if he has a bad start, if he gets himself into trouble somehow, people are going to abuse him. And certain folks will figure out a way to blame Cashman for it. Hmm. You signed the guy that we begged you to sign, Trevor Bauer, and it didn't work out, so it's your problem. Yeah, that's what they do. A lot of fans. Bieber's, yeah, I mean, I don't know if Bieber's available now. Now that the Guardians have their streaming rights picked up, I have no idea. Mhm. No, exactly, Yankee talk. We don't need to act like the Yankees dropped the ball when they didn't. Milwaukee dropped the ball today. They got their asses handed to them. They got robbed by the Orioles. Rodon's critical. Yeah, and he's in shape and he's lean. I think Rodon's going to have a heck of a lot better year than he had last year. Well, that's another thing too. Teams that want to help the Yankees because we got 27 championships. Yeah, there is a Yankees tax, but people don't seem to want to hear that, but it's true. And then if he's been pointing this out all night, teams try to fleece the Yankees. Look what the package that they took from the Orioles. That's not even worth a 20 prospect for the Yankees, but you have to give up Jason Dominguez or Spencer Jones for him or Chase Hampton. Are we out of our minds? Like, why would they do that? It's Cashman's job to know what's going on with the Yankees. It's not everybody else's job, Donald, to tell Cashman so that he knows what's going on. That's not how they do that. That's not how businesses run. They're not going to tell the other businesses, "Hey, this is what we're doing." They're not going to tell other GMs. Other GMs are not going to share what they're trying to get with other GMs. That's not how it works. Can you blame Cashman for not giving up Jones and Dominguez for Burns plus? Nah, can't blame Stephen B. I wouldn't blame him. Hell no. It's amazing how uh, what do you call it? The conversation turned to blaming Cashman when the Brewers were the ones that got fleeced by the Orioles. Has nothing to do with Brian Cashman. Absolutely nothing. It'll cost more than Peraza to get Devin Williams, Tim King, and Jordan's, but I mean, it's worth calling him about if he's available. Unless you can Cash got beat for Burns. That's the argument. Everybody got beat for Burns. It's not only Cash. Every GM in baseball got beat for Burns in this situation. It's not only Cash. Unless you're a Cash apologist, in which Baltimore just had a good night. They fleeced. No matter what people say, they fleeced the Brewers. Good job to Baltimore. Terrible job. And I don't know how Cashman figures this in. It's almost people have to have a quote on what to blame Cashman for every day. We have to figure out a way to blame Cashman for something every day. And I know there's certain channels that feed people a daily dose of blaming Cashman. I get it. Their arguments are weak. And I'll say it to them. Okay? I don't know why this has become a Cashman thing. I Would I do it, Devin Williams for Peraza? Yes, but it's going to cost more than Peraza, Tim King, and Jordan's. It will cost more than Peraza. Jonathan's in the house. There he is. Yeah, Middleton signed with the Jonathan. He signed with the Cardinals, but the details haven't. They reached agreement. Um, what do you call it? I hope we get some information on what you know what at what the Brewers were asking from the Yankees, Eric. Yeah, some more clarity would be good, rather than just flat out blaming Brian Cashman. You know, trade for Braxton Garrett. Um, I would take him overseas because it wouldn't cost them Dominguez. It wouldn't cost them Jones. It wouldn't cost them Chase Hampton. I would have no problem giving him Pereira, Oswaldo, and either Workvet or Rice. Probably Workvet. If you can get him for that, I would be that all day, Chris. Exactly. Your dog is a him where he must be. Exactly. They have not been seen, Jonathan. We're just starting to see you now, Jonathan. Just starting to see you in the comments now. It's good to have you here, dude. I mean, if you can get AJ Puck from the Marlins, get another reliever, yeah. If you can get a controllable starter and a controllable reliever in one trade from the same team, that's great. I don't know if you can, but you could try. You know, Jazz Chisholm lost his arbitration hearing with the Marlins tonight too. They didn't want to pay him. Like, they're also in arbitration hearing with Luis Arias, and they're in arbitration hearings with Tanner Scott, with 3 players that they're going to hearings for. So let me see if we have any more details on Keenan Middleton here. Cardinals. We still don't have the numbers. Yeah, they're in agreement with free for Keenan Middleton, reports Robert Murray of Fansided. Yeah, salary terms for the Aces client have remained unreported. Deal is pending physical. St. Louis will need to make a corresponding 40-man roster move once the contract is finalized. So that's what we know right now. We don't know any numbers yet. Jonathan, probably trade for a controllable starter. Probably Um, Either trade for a reliever or sign a reliever on the cheap or something like that. They may not even need to add a reliever if they, honestly, if they don't need to. So, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did. A savvy GM would figure out how to get one of Marlins pitchers with catchers Pereira Peraza. And why aren't they doing it? Savvy GMs, since sounds like we think Cashman's not a savvy GM. So why aren't other GMs doing with equivalent prospects? Is my question. Yes, I think Warren gets a shot at spring training, as he should. It's in a direct quote with something I did read about the topic with Burns. What, Chris? 20 years, 250 million. Yeah, no kidding. Rob, exactly. Cashman will get some pictures from the Tigers. Yeah, I'm guessing he's probably going to do some trade that we're like, what? Yeah, Brewers would want Hampton, Dominguez. Hell no. But Devin Williams, I pass it immediately. For a closer, oh God, no. I wouldn't do it. There's no way in the world. 94 likes. Let's try to get them likes. So let's at least get over 100 likes. You read that the Tigers now are a dark horse to make one move this season for the playoffs. What do I think? The Tigers need another bat. Maybe they can trade pitching for bats. Nah, I like it, Sean Browning. I did. It's good. Trying to, yeah, I know. Williams traded to someone else for a bat. Yeah, probably, man. Previous link was chat above. There's no link. It just says I read the Tigers never a dark horse. I don't see any link, Chris, anywhere. This isn't a direct quote, but it's something I did read about the topic with Burns. There's nothing there, just this. There's no link anywhere. That's what came up in the thing, in the comment. Yeah, we talked about Warren. Warren, I mean, uh, all right, we need 2 more likes to get 100. Let's get 100 likes at the very least. Anybody hasn't hit that thumbs up, please hit that thumbs up. It's greatly appreciated. Yeah, the Yankees have 5 catchers on the 40 man. I still expect catchers to be traded either now or during spring training. So remember, they moves happen during spring training too. So people get cut, they get it just happens. How do we not get Burns? Because the Brewers got fleeced by the Orioles. The same thing goes for every other team. Nobody else got Burns either. What do I think is an intelligent offer for Devin Williams? Yeah, I don't see any links. But 101 likes. All right. Thank you, gang. Let's see if we can keep bumping on likes. Hit that like button if you haven't hit them yet. Um, a reasonable or intelligent offer for Devin Williams. Probably Everson Pereira. Um, an infield prospect. Probably a pitching prospect or something like that. I'm not giving them like 5 prospects. I'm not giving them Dominguez or Spencer Jones. Not for a reliever. I think so too, Sean. I think Cashman's going to make a trade that kind of catches us all off guard. Yeah, Rob. We're stocking depth everywhere right now in position players everywhere. So I do think they're positioning themselves to make trades. Yeah, still don't see any links anywhere. And a competitive balance pick. Dennis, they didn't even give up a top five prospect for Corbin Burns. They gave up like nothing for Corbin. They got fleeced by the Orioles. Absolutely fleeced. I would try to get another starter, Chris. I would be fine going with Clay Holmes, and they've already added three relievers, so I'd be fine going with Clay Holmes. Marlins need a shortstop, a catcher, major league ready outfielder, high prospects. Yeah, we have plenty of those, Jose. Well, just because they have those needs, Jose, doesn't mean that the Yankees have what they like at those positions. That's how a trade could not be possible. Maybe they're talking, we just don't know. Maybe they don't like what's in the Yankees farm. No, that's the key. Yeah, Marlins or a Mariners trade. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is a weak package for Dennis for Corbin Burns. Very weak package. Your source was Clappish articles, so nothing from the Yankees themselves. A beat writer. Okay, like I said. So Brewers designate. Yeah, they had to designate Ethan Small for assignment to make room for these prospects that they got. Yeah, we did not. No link came up here, Chris. We didn't see any links anywhere. Let's see. Ethan Small. What do we got with him here? He was designated for assignment. Ethan Small. Pitcher. He's a left-handed pitcher, it looks like. Um, let's look at his contract. And he's got 6 years of control, Ethan Small. That's the type of guy. Yeah, got 3 years of pre-arb and 3 years of arb. He's 26 years old, Jonathan. That's the type of guy. That's the type of guy, Jonathan. 6 years of control. Hill might be given a tryout a closer. He might. Angelo, how's Cashman stupid? I can see Cashman getting Ethan Small. That's a guy that'd be a wise pickup. Cost of I don't know. Maybe 6-8 million, but that turns to 12 to 16 million because of the Cohen threshold. So everything they come in at this point gets doubled immediately, no matter what contract they sign. So young cat from the Marlins of Cincinnati. Who, Ethan? Clappish said how Steinbrenner said something. Again, beat writer. Not hearing it directly from Hal. Not hearing it directly. I don't go by, yeah. He said what? Said how how Steinbrenner said something. What did he say? According to Clappish. Kenneth, this has nothing to do with Brian Cashman. The Milwaukee Brewers GM was asleep at the wheel. He got fleeced by the Orioles. Yeah, three young pitchers. That doesn't mean they like what the Yankees have, Ethan. This is something that for some reason people don't seem to understand. Do they like what the Yankees have? We don't know. Clappish initiated. He was going off what Hal said about Burns. What did Hal say about Burns? And did Hal say we knew that this trade was happening tonight? We knew that the Baltimore Orioles were having an active dialogue with. Did he say that stuff? Because that was the accusation earlier. We all knew that the Yankees were suggested to be interested in Burns. We knew this already, but did we know that they knew what happened tonight? That's the accusation that's been levied here since the beginning. Yeah, exactly. They're freaking out and they're blaming Cashman for something that yeah, it's crazy. Teams hate dealing with. I don't know. No idea. Yeah, I think so. Something probably went down. I mean, I know they have a fractured relationship already, the Brewers and Burns, so I know he wanted out of there. How far above they over the cone? They're already 10 million over the cone threshold. Everything they sign at this point gets doubled. Everything, dollar for dollar. That's how they tax. That's how they're taxed at this point. And this is a great point too, Anthony. Yeah, doesn't give in to these teams' overpaid demands. Mhm. Clearly, the Orioles didn't give into demands either, and they got Burns on the cheap. Well, we don't know if they're doable. I mean, theoretically, they could be doable, but we just don't know if the Marlins actually like the Yankees prospects that are available. That's one thing we don't know, Ethan. And it would be nice to find out, though. Mark Watson, what's happening? That they were interested in Burns and they would not be afraid to make a move at the trade deadline. Yeah, we know this already. That's not news. That's not news. But keeping their eye on them doesn't mean that teams are going to tell them exactly what they're going to do. That's not how it works, Chris. Yeah, you said that there was no way they wouldn't have known tonight that happened without. We can't prove that. Keeping an eye on him, of course, every team's keeping an eye on him. Or the Yankees here. We don't know, Mark. But all we know is that the Baltimore Orioles fleeced Milwaukee tonight and got Corbin Burns for on the cheap. Bryce Miller would be a good option, yeah, for a cheap starter to even be 100%. Uncertainty and starting pitching overpay for Luzardo. Not at Spencer Jones level. I wouldn't give Spencer Jones for Luzardo. He's got 3 years of control. Edward Cabrera from that team has 5 years. Kenneth. Yeah, exactly. Don't be sorry, NFE. Yeah, you're right, man. It wasn't worth that. The Orioles didn't have to give up that much. Why would the Yankees have to give up that much for him? Hell no. Yes, and Jonathan, yes. Torres is the only trade that they can make to reduce payroll. Yeah. Yep. They have the advantage, yeah, because they're the best farm in the league. And what the brilliant part for them is, they didn't use any of the top prospects they had to get and they got Corbin freaking Burns, and they didn't use any of their top prospects. It's crazy. Who else pitches for Baltimore aside from Corbin Burns? Mhm. Yeah, apparently a lot of people are blaming the Yankees as a whole for Milwaukee getting fleeced. I don't know how Milwaukee getting fleeced by the Orioles is the Yankees' fault, but people are of the constant mentality that's somehow the Yankees' fault. Yeah, yeah, it is what it is. Always takes GM to make it. Yeah, exactly. One GM fleeced the other GM. The Orioles GM fleeced the hell out of the Brewers GM. That's it. Yeah, unfortunately, there's no room for Reynolds now. But Mitch Keller, if he was available, well, Chris, I mean, the GM's not of the Brewers is not required to call the Yankees. He made a terrible deal, but he's not required to call the Yankees. So, you know, the Yankees could have found out like we did. Breaking news. Hmm. Robert, that's apparently, uh, that's apparently what the Brewers did tonight. They took the low offer from the Orioles, didn't shop them around. They got their asses handed to them by the Orioles tonight. It's a shame. Kenneth Cashman's been busier than any GM in baseball. Sitting on his hands? What are you talking about? Why couldn't the Yankees do it? Did the Yankees even know that it happened? You have to say the same thing about every other team in baseball. Why didn't the Red Sox do it? Why didn't the Nationals do it? Why didn't the White Sox? Braves, Phillies, Mets. Can't just levy this logic on Cashman and not anybody else. Maybe he couldn't do it because he didn't know that it was happening. This has nothing to do with sitting on his hands. He's been the busiest GM this whole entire offseason, all of baseball. Look at the moves that the Yankees have made. Mhm. That's a fact, Kenneth. And I think it's important to emphasize that the Yankees just can't do whatever they want anytime they want. Ethan, I do think he'll get another starting pitcher. I think he knows that he has to now. He's got to counter what the Orioles did tonight. Yeah, well, exactly, Stephen B. It's just crazy. Cashman's a horrible negotiator, really? No, the Brewers GM is a horrible negotiator. He got fleeced tonight. Cashman wouldn't have been fleeced. Mm, exactly. Exactly, NFE. Means will be back. John Means, yeah, coming back from a start. I think Tommy John. Yeah, the Orioles have just as many question marks in the rotation as the Yankees do. Tim King, yes, they do. Adding Burns help, but it doesn't solve all the problems. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, NFA. Ethan, I think they are going to stay away from Snell. They offered him 25 per year. He turned it down. They offered him that before they were over the threshold too. Then they pivoted to Stroman after Snell turned him down. Now they're over the threshold. There's no way they're going to pay 50 for Snell now when he's rejected 25. It's not a chance in the world. What excuses, Angelo? Who's making excuses? The Brewers GM got fleeced by the Orioles tonight. What excuses? If they had no problems, they would have been deep into the playoffs. Just like the Braves, they won more than 101 games. They both got their asses handed to them in the playoffs. That means they have problems. Yeah, Kershaw's out until August, September, shoulder surgery. That's right. What excuses, Eric? What excuses? Facts are not excuses. Yeah, Kershaw, yeah. He'll probably go back to the Dodgers on the cheap. So, yeah, Mark, this is the logic. You know, yeah, I think they probably did because Dodgers. That's probably why they traded for Glasnow and added James Paxton the other day or last week. So, but everything could fall apart for the Orioles too. Yeah, Bob, that's the thing. The Brewers GM could have called every, and we don't know that he did or did not. He clearly did not because he would have gotten better offers. So, how in the world that's Brian Cashman's fault is beyond me. It's comical. No, Kershaw, he won't be back until August, September. Yeah, and I do think he's a Dodger for life, Sean. I'm with you there. But this has been enlightening, even though we're not agreeing on everything, and it's enlightening. I thank you all for your feedback, and you know, like I said, people are entitled to their opinions. We may not agree on stuff, and that's totally fine. But I'm not going to block you for disagreeing with me. That's not fair. So, Bob, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that, my friend. Thank you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Bob. Thank you. Yankees trade who? Nave and Glaber. They could make a splash. Who's Nave? Who's Nave, Chris? You know Mark, man. You know I'm gonna bring him, man. You know, I defend my Yankees. Okay, and whether people can call me Cashman apologist or not, Cashman's the GM of the Yankees. I'm gonna defend the team. Period. I appreciate the combo. Yeah, combo everybody. It's great. And again, trying to think who Nave is. Chris Schmidt. I'm trying to think. Who's that? Yeah, exactly. You hold them accountable but like, you know, hold them accountable when it's justified. But again, like, I don't know how in the world Brian Cashman's to blame for the Milwaukee Brewers GM getting fleeced. That's not an excuse. I'm making excuses for the Brewers GM got fleeced. Oh, Tommy Canley, yeah. Canley, yes. I could see Canley getting moved. Yeah. After Baltimore Center do a video on each team has been with their current owner. I'll look into that one, Jonathan. That's a solid idea. I like that. He, he does. We'll keep talking about this too, brother. But have a great night, everybody. Peace and love to all these. I appreciate you. Hit the like button on the way out. If you haven't subbed to the channel, please hit that channel because we continue to have these fruitful discussions, whether we agree or not. It's all part of the fun. It's all part of the experience. So we all love our Yankees. We want them to do well. So and we're going to continue to push them until they keep doing that. So have a great night, gang. Talk to you next time.